Hi, welcome to the first in a series of what I call profoundly simple golf hacks that also, just coincidentally, are profoundly simple life hacks. And I'd like to start with this first in the series with a question. And the question is, let's say you're sitting on the tee box with your driver in hand right now, looking at a 450-yard hole, and you take out the driver and swing for the fences and completely slice the ball into the woods. Or you duck hook it into the woods on the other side. Or you top the ball and it screams down the middle of the fairway 50 yards. What do you do at that point? Or let's say you just rip a drive, one of the best you've ever hit. You're sitting in position A right in the middle of the fairway, and you take out your 9-iron for a simple approach shot, and you completely duff it 6 inches behind the ball into the mud. The ball moves a yard ahead. What do you do at that point? So what many people do at that point is they swear and they scream, or they take their club and they slam it into the ground, or they throw it. And you've heard stories about people taking their clubs and throwing it into the pond because they become so frustrated with golf. And I didn't ever do that kind of stuff, but I certainly became really frustrated, and I certainly swore from time to time when I was upset with some of those shots. But I learned something a few years ago, many years ago actually, from a coach that I had for my business. And what he told me was that you need to focus on, and this is, by the way, the first of the profoundly simple steps, you need to always focus on progress, not perfection. So this is an idea from a coach named Dan Sullivan in a program called The Strategic Coach that I went through, like I said, years and years ago. And what that means, the progress, not perfection, is that when you think about what you're trying to do to improve a skill set, whatever that skill set is, and it may be your golf swing, it could be relationships, it could be what you put in your mouth to eat for your diet, or whatever you're just eating on a daily basis. Whatever those things are, it's really easy to think about so far in the future of what you want to be when you're perfect. And nobody is perfect. And so you can get really discouraged if you have struggles right away in this journey, on this path, whatever you're trying to focus on. And it's been really helpful for me whenever I am in a struggle with a challenge that I have in one of my areas that I'm trying to improve. And like many people, I have a lot of those areas. But when I look at those areas, I think about, what can I do right now to make progress so that the next time I work on this skill, I'm better than I was before. And one thing that I found in golf was that, I used to be a 18 handicap, and I worked and worked and worked, and I finally got it down so that it was under a 10. Now I'm somewhere in between a 7 and 8, depending on the day and depending on my struggles. But even when I was an 18, what I realized that I was going to do when I played golf is I was going to focus on, when I hit a bad shot, when I hit lots of bad shots, I wasn't going to get frustrated until I had 18 bad shots, if I was an 18 handicap, for example. And once I hit 18 bad shots, then at that point I could start feeling like I was underperforming based on where I really wanted to be. And it really helped calm me, I found, because when I'd hit a bad shot, I'd just be like, okay, well, that's number 1, that's number 2, that's number 3. And I would move along until I got up to that number. And sometimes I never hit that number. Sometimes I hit it a lot faster than I would have liked to. But the progress I was making was focused on little improvements, so that I knew that each time I played, I was going to get better. And I did, for the most part, get better. And what I also tried to focus on was that one perfect shot that I hit. And hopefully I could hit one during the round. You hear some of the pros after a tournament, and they'll talk about one shot that was really the one shot that they hit during the whole tournament that felt good. So even if you have only one shot during a round that feels perfect, relish and enjoy that one perfect shot. In fact, I call that a perfect moment. And included with this video series, I'm going to give you some different clips and sections of a book that I wrote a few years ago called Life Perfected. It's actually a best-selling book on Amazon. And it's all about how to focus on what's really important in your life. And we really feel in this book that life is a series of perfect moments, and you should focus on how can you every day have more and more of those. Progress, not perfection. So this is the first idea that I wanted to leave you with in a series of, again, what I call the profoundly simple golf hacks that also seem to be profoundly simple life hacks. And the next time something happens that you're frustrated with, I'd like you to just use that mantra in your head and say, progress, not perfection. I think it will help you. See you next time.